Now, vocabulary is a very important component of CMAT. If you ask me, last year it was the most important component of CMAT, language comprehension section, right? So 9 out of 20 questions in the language comprehension section were from vocabulary. So that's actually a big percentage, isn't it? And that's why we are going to practice these question types that I've written here for you. So these were the question types: synonym, antonym, word meaning. So let's put them in one category: direct vocabulary. This is all contextual vocabulary, where the context is given to you. So a sentence is given to you, right? Idioms were asked. Okay, so there was one idiom that was asked. More, in fact, it was more in the nature of a phrasal verb than being an idiom, right? The phrasal verb was let up. Okay, spelling questions were asked, analogy questions were asked, right? So we are going to practice all these question types today. Okay, and this vocabulary was not just limited to, let's say separate vocabulary questions. Even your RC passages, yes, this let up was actually a part of an RC passage. Based on an RC passage, you were asked the meaning of the phrasal verb let up, right? So vocabulary was part of your RC passages as well, right? So let's have a look at some questions. Now, to tell you, the level of vocabulary also in CMAT is not on the difficult side. I would not call it difficult, okay? At the most moderate, right? And usually on the easier side, right? So let's look at the level of questions that you will find in your exam, right? So first, let's look at this category: direct vocabulary, word meanings, synonyms and antonyms. I'll be very quick and fast with you today because see, these are direct questions, these are time saving questions, right? So quickly tell me, what is the correct meaning of the word veteran? Yes, yes, Kaushal, it has. So check the links, all of you. What is the meaning of veteran? Okay, what do you say? Meaning is the meaning of veteran is novice, is it? So, novice is in fact the opposite. Novice, rookie, that's the opposite of veteran. A veteran is an expert, an experienced person in a field, right? So, D is going to be the answer. Colt is simply the young one of a horse. Okay, so young one of a horse is a colt, and novice, rookie, they are opposites. So, eliminated, D is our answer. Right, so here you could group A and C together and eliminate them. Look at the second question. Synonym of confess. Such an easy question, isn't it? This is a previous year question. Synonym of confess. Hello. I think now I'm audible. Sorry. My earphones got stuck with each other. All right. So that the earlier one was clear to you, right? Confess was admit, right? No other option made sense. How about this intrepid? So you say C, all right. Okay. Timid? Correct. Okay, timid is the answer. Why? Because we were looking for an antonym here, right? Not a synonym. These words, undaunted, valiant, gallant, these are what? They are synonyms. Okay, not antonyms. So you would again group these together. Intrepid means brave, valiant also means brave, gallant. Gallantry awards. Gallantry awards exist for this reason. Okay, so timid is the answer. Okay, good. How about this question? Not similar in meaning to marvel. So read the question instructions very carefully. Yes, absolutely, Akshansh. This is the level of CMAT. Okay, great. So you say A. To marvel at something. When you marvel at something, are simply filled with wonder on looking at that thing, right? So wonder, miracle, right? B and C, they are similar ideas, so of course eliminated. Then average is something that really won't make you wonder, right? It won't fill you with wonder. So that's why this is not similar. Sensation, fine. When something fills you with a sensation of wonder, that's when you are marveling at it. So you could still relate it, although even this is not directly related, but this is the opposite idea, and that's why we are going to mark A, right? Okay. If you've practiced the previous year papers, then I think you know that the vocabulary in CMAT is not that difficult. Okay. So, not similar in meaning to ravishing. Yes. Something that is ravishing. You can actually give someone a compliment also. You look ravishing. So, when someone looks ravishing, they look gorgeous. Right? So, gorgeous, magnificent, again, very impressive, exquisite. Impressive because it is filled with intricate details, right? These are similar ideas. Grotesque is a non-similar idea. Something that is grotesque is strange. It's eerie, right? This is another synonym for it. Eerie, strange. So that is grotesque, right? Okay. All right. Through the process of elimination, you could attempt this. Correct, correct. Now, sixth, similar in meaning to grumpy. Similar in meaning to grumpy. Okay. Welcome, Kevna. Thank you, Prateek. Okay. Although I'm not feeling my best today. So, grumpy. Similar to grumpy. Correct. Somebody who's grouchy. Somebody who's grumpy is pretty irritable. Yes. This always reminds me of the stereotypical image of a fufa in a wedding. Yes. So it's very commonly known, no, that there are some relatives of yours who will always create some trouble, some problem for you during the weddings, right? During family weddings. So such grumpy people, such people who are irritable, okay, grouchy. I've always associated them with this image of a fufa, right? Uh, Cordial, sociable, genial, these are friendly people, right? Friendly, sociable, likes to be around people. Genial, again, very cordial, friendly, gentle, agreeable, right? So, this is how you can remember them. Grumpy, grouchy, similar words, and associate them with someone in your life. Yes? Okay. Seventh, similar in meaning to perceptible, right? So we are looking for a synonym here. So perceptible, something that you can perceive, something that you can sense through your senses, you can become aware of. That is perceptible. Okay, so obscure is something that's hidden and unclear. So no. Covert is again something that's hidden. The opposite is overt. Overt is something that's open. This is something that's secret. Intangible, you can't touch it, so probably you can't perceive it. So these are again antonymous ideas. This is the only similar idea. Discernible, something that you can distinguish clearly, right? That is discernible. Correct. D, Delhi. Right. Eighth, tell me the answer. Yes, let's see what you say. The word given is collaborative. Okay, I've got some C's. Do the others also agree? Correct. Unilateral. See, something that is done in collaboration is done as a community. Symbiotic, a relationship between two entities or more than two entities that is mutually beneficial, a mutually beneficial relationship. So, associated with the idea of being in a community or collaborating with someone. Corroborative. Corroborative comes from the word corroborate. To corroborate is to support. Support how? Through evidence. So this is a word that is very often used in courtrooms, right? He corroborated the events of the day, right? So the witness corroborated the events. The witness supported through his or her testimony, right? Or the lawyer corroborated how? Through evidence, by presenting evidence. That is corroborate. So corroborative is the adjective form of that. Okay. And unilateral is again an opposite idea. That means you did things on your own or belong just involving one party. Unilateral is involving only one side, one party. Okay. So this is the opposite of, let's say, collaborating with someone. Perfect. C is the answer. Okay. These were some synonym antonym questions. Let's come to contextual vocabulary. Here we'll see fill in the blanks. Okay. And we'll also see the meaning of the underlined phrase. So here's a phrasal verb for you. Tell me its meaning. Yes. Okay. Mayank has answered. Others. So these are your time saving questions, okay? Not time consuming questions. All right. So I've got 4 responses. 5. Okay. 6. Excellent. All of you say D. Yes. So the lease of our premises has come to an end. That's the meaning, right? Not met with a problem. The okay. So if water runs out, we say this, no, that we should save water. Otherwise, it will run out one day, right? So it will come to an end. It will finish. That's the idea. Okay. Now, what about this? The eldest child generally receives the dash of the property. Yes. What do you say? What amount are we talking about? We are talking about the biggest part, right? Lion's share is the biggest part. The lion usually takes the most share, let's say, in the jungle, and that is why lion's share, right? So, uh, okay, so here's a question in the chat box. What does it mean to stand over? Uh, to really stand over someone, that is stand over. Right? In which context are you asking it? If you give me a sentence, then probably I'll be able to give you other meanings also. Right? Otherwise, literally stand over means to really stand near someone and watch them, supervise them. That is stand over. C. Okay. All right. Yes. What about 11th? The popularity of Madonna was on the wane after she met with an accident. Thank you, Kunal, and you're always welcome. All the very best for the exam. Okay, and yes, for all of you, all the very best, right? I will see you in other sessions also, right, before the exam. In fact, we are planning something big for you before the exam. But yes, I want all of you to perform well, and I'm sure with your preparation, all of you will, right? C, D, okay, okay. It began to decrease, right? Where does this word come from? It comes from moon's cycles, okay? Waxing and waning. So every fortnight, the moon swells, okay? It reaches the full moon and then it starts decreasing in size. So this is called waxing when it increases in size. And this is called waning when it decreases in size till we have the new moon, which is on the new moon, there is no moon actually in the sky, right? So it comes from these cycles. On the wane began to decrease. Okay. No, Akshansh. Prior share would mean that, just a second. You are saying that instead of lion's share, can I write prior share? See, it has to do with the amount actually, not about who gets it first, right? So, lion's share is about the amount that you've got, which is the larger part, the largest share, in fact, if there are multiple parties, right? So, instead of priority, the focus is on amount. D Delhi. Okay. 12th. Yes. Yes, Shivam, absolutely. A very commonly used term in the business world, a carrot and stick approach. It's used for what? It's used for incentives, right? So sometimes you follow a carrot and stick approach. Sometimes organizations follow a carrot and stick approach with their employees, wherein they give them rewards also, but they also give them some penalties or punishments. Okay, if let's say some targets are not met. So that's called a carrot and stick approach. So both the offer of reward for certain actions and the threat of punishment for others. That is a carrot and stick approach. A. Okay. 13th, yes. Waft is to release in the air. Okay. On windy days, the smoke was wafted so that signals became confused and distorted. Mayank says B. Okay. B. All right. A lot of B's in the chat box. Eloquent. So this is how this is pronounced. Eloquent. Now it comes from the root loquer. It's a root loquer, which means to speak. So somebody who's eloquent is very appealing in how they talk, right? Whatever they say is very appealing to you, appealing in their arguments, in their speech. Lucid is something that's very clear, again used for speeches, words. So if someone makes a lucid argument, it's a very clear argument that they've made. Intelligible. Intelligence is about our mental ability, right? Our ability to comprehend things. So intelligible is something that you can understand, understandable, right? Something that you can understand. Then garbled is something that is confused and distorted, usually used again for speech. Okay, his garbled speech. I couldn't understand anything from his garbled speech, right? Because it was so confused, so distorted. So this is a word that means confused and distorted. Okay, to be honest, you would probably not use garbled for signals, right? You usually use it for speech. However, because the other options here, they are about clarity. That's why B is our answer here. Otherwise, you should use it in the context of talking, of message, sound, transmission, right? So probably it's about signals ka transmission. That way, yes, you can relate it, right? Okay. Now, coming to The 14th one. What do you say? Sure, Pratik. So tomorrow also you have a last lap to CMAT session. Okay, so tomorrow grammar will be covered with you. Then, as I said, we are planning something big for you. We'll announce it soon. So, lot of material available for you. Okay, a number of sessions coming up. 14th, yes. Omkar says C. By today's standards, the Roman emperor would be akin, similar to a person who is not accepted by a social group, especially because he or she is not liked, respected, or trusted. Yes, cat classes are going to happen till November. Don't worry about it. We have this 500 most expected cat series for you. B, A, C, all right. See this. Somebody who's not accepted, somebody who's banished, exiled, somebody who's ostracized. What is that person called? Somebody who is banished, exiled, ostracized, right? Such a person is called pariah, right? So it's just they took our Hindi word pariah and changed it to pariah, or probably let's say this word existed first and then in Hindi also we adopted it. So somebody who's pariah, right? Apna paraya, that's the opposite. So someone who is not accepted, okay? Someone who is ostracized, that person is pariah, right? Fugitive is not the answer. See, fugitive is not about social acceptance, it's about violation of law. Fugitive is a person who is on the run after violating the law, right? Someone who runs after a violation, law ka violation, okay? Vagrant, yes, who is a vagrant? Welcome, Pratik. Welcome. Yes. What does vagrant mean? Is this a person who's settled in one place? Yes. Firmly rooted in one place? That kind of a person? No, the opposite. In fact, vagrant and tramp, they are similar words. So they are synonyms. So somebody who does not have any one home to stay in, somebody who wanders from place to place as a result, that person is called a vagrant or a tramp. Yes, homeless and poor, vagrant, tramp, right? Okay. So C is the answer here, and you learned some new words, vagrant, tramp. In the previous question also there were some good words. Yes. 15th. Yes, vagabond is a synonym. Correct, Nidhi, correct. The one other individual sport where India has traditionally made its presence felt at the international level, hockey, is not exactly in the pink of health. Okay, all right. So I would suggest, Milia, that take one more mock, right? I think one mock, one or two mocks, not more than that, right? And analyze those mocks again. After this, stick to topic tests, stick to revising your grammar notes, revise your formulae, right? So focus more on what you've learned so far. Now is that kind of time, right? So attend the sessions that we have there in the last lab sessions. We are practicing questions with you, right? Take mocks, two mocks, analyze them. Then apart from that, you can take topic tests, right? So again, they are available in the app, vocabulary quizzes, grammar quizzes. You can go for them. Okay, and focus on revision, revising what you've done so far. C, B, all right. Mostly C's, just a couple of B's here and there. Correct. See, in the pink of health means in good health. Now, this person is not in the pink of health. So, this person is not in very good health. Or this, sorry, sport here. This sport is not in the pink of health. This sport is not in very good health. Right? That's the idea here. So, it's not going to be B, it's going to be C. Okay, a very common phrase in the pink of health. Okay. 16th, yes. What do you say? Many young graduates know their job in theory, but they're still wet behind the ears when it comes to making it a habit while working. See, the options are so easy that even if you don't know the meaning of wet behind the ears, you can still guess it. Okay. D. Okay, I've got C also. So they know their job in theory, but they're unable to implement it in a practical manner. That's what this sentence is saying. Why would that be the case? Because they're young graduates, they're novices, they lack experience or they're immature. That's the reason. Okay, so see this. It's not about taking a bath, not connected with work, right? So it's about lack of experience or immaturity. Let me tell you the origin of this idiom that will help you to remember this. So actually, when a baby is born, particularly animal babies, they are, they're smeared with amniotic fluid, right? So amniotic fluid, you understand, right? And uh, usually the animal mom, what she does is she licks the amniotic fluid from all the places. But this area behind the back, area behind the ears is where she goes at the last moment, right? Where she goes last. And that is why this area remains wet behind the ears. So this is a symbol of the fact that somebody is newborn, right? That's the idea. That's the origin of the idiom. So the presence of amniotic fluid behind the ears of a newborn. B is the answer here. Okay, so these were some contextual vocabulary questions. Now let's look at analogy. Many students find analogy questions relatively more challenging because here first you have to figure out the relationship between the question pair before attempting before going to the options, right? So cacophony is to sound. First figure out what is their relationship and then see which one fits this relationship. Cacophony is to sound. Yogesh, usually no, they are not difficult. I'm saying usually, right? Jaldi jaldi batao ye. So Gayatri says D, Mayank says D, Kaustubh D, Harshada D. All right, so a lot of D's. Okay, absolutely correct. Kako. Okay, this comes from kakos. Kakos is a Greek root which means ugly or bad. So an ugly sound or a harsh sound or a bad sound is called cacophony, right? Similarly, incorrect spellings, bad spelling, when someone is bad at spelling, okay, writes incorrect spelling, that is called cacography. Cacography is used for bad handwriting also. So cacography is bad handwriting or spelling, right? The opposite of uh, cacography is, the opposite of cacography is calligraphy. Calligraphy, because kalos is a Greek root which means beautiful. Similarly, here we call this euphony, not caliphony, we call it euphony. Euphony is a good sound or a sweet sound, a melody. So the opposite of cacophony is euphony, the opposite of cacography is calligraphy. The others don't make sense. What do you think theophobia would be? Theo, God. So, a fear of God. Some people have a fear of God or hate God. In that case, we say that they have theophobia. It is not associated with governance as such. It's more about your religious beliefs, right? Intransigent, someone who's very stubborn. Okay. Compliant, someone who agrees or obeys you very easily. That person is compliant. So, opposites, these one, these not related as such. Obdurate is to flexible, again, opposites. How? Obdurate means stubborn. Flexible, on the other hand, someone who listens to you easily. Yes, pliant. Pliant is a synonym of flexible. So hope this is clear to you. So through analogy questions, you learn a lot of vocabulary words. Do practice them. Right. How about this one? Contributor is to recipient. So now they are not difficult words, as you can see. Contributor is to recipient. Tell me. Eliminate. Okay. Jyoti says D. Dhirendra also says D. Chinmay C. Yogesh D. Pragati D. Monica D. Okay, now there's a flood of D's in the chat box. Okay, so let's have a look at both C and D. D is the answer, correct. Bibliophile and biblical, they're different. See, bibliophile is someone who loves books. Phil means love, okay? So loves books. Biblical means belonging to the Bible. So a biblical story is a story that is there in the Bible. So they are not really, they don't share the relationship that contributor and recipient have. Contributor gives, recipient receives. So it's more of an antonymous relationship, we could say, right? So receives. Manacle is not at all related to mango. Manacle or manacle, whichever way you want to pronounce it, these are handcuffs. Okay, manacles are handcuffs. So, not related to mango at all. Distract is to travel. Again, they are not antonyms. Eliminated. Negotiator is to igniter. See, igniter, a person who ignites something. It could be a debate. It could be, let's say, a riot. So, igniter is someone who ignites something, provokes something. Negotiator, on the other hand, then tries to reconcile things, then tries to concile the two parties, is a mediator. So, this again is an antonymous relationship. Hence, D, negotiator is to igniter. Okay, so good question this one was because the words were not difficult if you see here. All right. Coming to the 19th. Very easy. A, all right. Okay. आज का saver कल का investor. All right. Why कल का investor? I think you should invest it today itself. No, whatever you save. A. Perfect. Just like a whale belongs to a pod. Pod is a group of whales, collective noun. Similarly, a wolf belongs to a pack, collective noun for wolves. Right? A group of wolves is called a pack. Plant, sprout, hand, fingers, they don't have this relationship at all. So that's why this was an easy question. Okay. 20th. Antagonism is to animus. Some good vocabulary words here. Let's see what you say. 20th. D, okay. All right. D, okay. But Omkar says B. Why do you think Omkar is saying B? Yes. Mayank says C. Why Mayank? Why C? Let's have a look at this. So antagonism. You can associate antagonism with this. Protagonist कौन होता है? Protagonist is the lead in a novel, in a movie, right? The good person. Antagonist is the bad person, the villain, right? So antagonism is associated with hostility. Antagonism means hostility, right? Or enmity. You can call it enmity also. Animus is hatred. Again, when you hate someone, you hold animus towards them, right? You have feelings of animus towards them. So these were not opposite words. And one thing that you should have noticed is A, C, D, all are antonyms. Even if, let's say, you don't know the exact meaning of antagonism and animus, copious is to sparse and espousal is to rejection, I think is something that you should know, right? And they are antonyms, both are antonyms. So probably this is a way to guess in the exam. Probably this is not an antonymous pair because otherwise the examiner would not give me two antonyms, right? Copious, something present in abundance, abundant. Sparse, something that is scarce, right? Espousal is endorsing something. When you endorse something, when you support something, that is when you espouse it. Rejection, the opposite idea. So now, enmity is hostility. Amity, on the other hand, yes, there's a whole university called Amity. Of course, it's a positive word then. It means harmony. So opposites. The answer is B. Camaraderie is to intimacy. So just like they are similar words, hostility and hatred, camaraderie is, this feeling of friendship towards your comrades. Comes from the word comrade actually, camaraderie. So feeling of friendship towards your peers, your friends, that is camaraderie. Intimacy is a related idea, right? Amity is again a feeling of friendship, harmony, that is amity, friendly relations, right? Let's call it friendly relations. So these will result in harmony. Okay. So if this is clear to you, B is the answer here. So pay attention to options also. The options also in analogy questions, sometimes they can help you eliminate even if you do not know the exact meaning of your question pair. Right? And always try to recall in which context you've heard these words. So for instance, antagonism, I associated it quickly with antagonist. That helped me to understand its meaning. Right? So, and recalling the context helps. Okay, so the final question type of the day, spelling errors. Let's have a look. Tell me the correct spelling of kleptomania. Antagonist is the villain. Okay, so kleptomania. What is it though? What is the meaning? Yes, what is the meaning? C is the answer, correct. Kleptomania. Mania is an obsession with something. Klepto means stealing. So, when some people have this disorder that they're obsessed with stealing things, they shoplift things. That is called kleptomania. Okay, and such people are called kleptomaniacs. All right. Now tell me the correct spelling here. I don't think I could give you an easier question than this. Correct, Mayank Surendra. Okay, absolutely. No other spelling. We need a double S, right? We need an A. This again is missing an S. So our answer is A. Are they the same? Yes, they are the same. B and D are the same. Yes, A is the answer anyway. Let's have a look at this one. 23. Identify the correct spelling. Okay. C, all right. Okay. Fine. I've got some C's. Do the others agree? Absolutely correct. We need a double N here and AIRE. questionnaire, right? Double N-A-I-R-E. Okay. Then here, what is the spelling? Questionnaire is, yes, a list of questions which is prepared for a specific purpose. Usually in research, in surveys, we use questionnaires, right? So some of you say D, most of you say D. I've got one A also. The spelling of sacrilege is this, D Delhi. What is sacrilege? It's a noun. If I say this is an act of sacrilege, she has committed sacrilege. That means she has violated something holy. She has violated or disrespected something that is considered sacred, right? So comes from the word sacred, sacrilege, right? Correct, Mayank, correct. Okay, correct spelling. Four different words are given to you this time. Okay, you have to give me the correct spelling. Okay, so absolutely correct. C is the answer. Now, opposition is missing a P. It is double P. Millionaire is missing an L. In maintenance, we have A here. So if you're ever confused about the spelling of maintenance, you can actually break this. Okay, this is just for your convenience. This is not how these words have been formed. Okay, so I actually remember main and then I remember tenant. Somehow I have associated it with a tenant. Okay, so then I combine this maintenance. Right, that's what I do so that I never get the E's and A's incorrect in maintenance. Okay, so our answer here is C. Millionaire, I mean, these other spellings are incorrect. Okay. Now identify the incorrect spelling. Identify the incorrect spelling. What do you say? Easy, right? Pretty easy. So, violence, the spelling is Violence. So the moment you look at it, you realize, acha, baki chahe jo bhi sahi ho, this is wrong. Yes? So A is the answer, correct. Opportunity, correct. Foreigner, this is the spelling. Noticeable, this is the spelling. So it was A only that was incorrect. So your spelling questions in CMAT, they haven't been that tricky. In MNCT, sometimes you get very tricky spelling questions, right? Now, remember this based on the questions that we have solved. I think this is something that you yourself must have realized that these questions are time saving, okay, and they can be scoring as well. You should try that in contextual vocabulary questions, you understand the context well, okay, and in all questions, apply grouping and elimination as much as you can.